Hey everybody, welcome back to another Judgment commentary of Made in Abyss, but today I'm going to be checking out episode 13, the final episode of the series. For now, there's also the movie after this, but there's no season 2 yet, so this is the last of it for season 1. Now, last time on episode 12, when it comes to what was going on there, Nanachi was explaining the true nature of the curse to Reg by using this thin, blanket thing. She was describing it as the curse is actually the force field. You know, the force field that was just funneling all the light from the surface down into the abyss so that there's still light down there. And apparently, the curse is caused by you going up and tearing through the force field, and then that's what causes you to take all of the negative effects. But if you could see it, if you could see the force field, even though it's normally invisible to most people, you could then circumvent this by tearing through it with anything other than your head, so you wouldn't take the worst part of the curse on yourself. I think that's how she described it, but unfortunately, it's apparently not as easy as just extending your hands out above you at all times and just waving them to tear through it as you're going up. It probably wouldn't work out, so having Nanachi with them would be incredibly useful because she apparently can see it. So if she can see it, she can help them get through it without taking the effects. Also, there was the moment where Reg had a rematch against the Orb Piercer, and he did manage to subdue it thanks to Nanachi telling him what to do. He tied it up, he had his hand right in its face, getting ready to give him the Kamehameha, and then it shed its spikes to dodge the blast, unfortunately. Still a great moment though, so great that I decided to take that scene and make a gif of it to put behind me, just because it was that cool. I had to have a gif of it, so I just said, whatever, I'll make the gif myself this time. Then of course, there was the weird dream that Riko had. Yeah, that was a weird one, where she was in a dark empty void, and there was crying. And she was not encased in a cocoon, she was a freaking cocoon. She was just a cocoon with a face, and then she moves over to a hole where there's an eye peeking in, a red eye that I assumed was Mitty's eye, but I guess it might have been somebody else's eye. It's possible. This was a dream, so who knows, but then she gets up real close, and then their eyes make contact. They had an eye kiss going, and it was uncomfortable to watch that, but then after they touch eyes, she turns back to normal, only she's covered in goo, so I'm not exactly sure what all of it means. I mean, if I try to think about it, I'm gonna think too much and just go off in the wrong direction. I know that, but obviously cocoons, like she was, in general represent metamorphosis, change, evolution, things like that, but not sure what it would have to do with this, if that's what they were shooting for. I don't know if the whole thing was just some kind of weird metaphor of her birth or something, but I'll have to think more about that. But now, it is time for the finale. Boom. Before we get to the movie, that is. Well, I was here a lot longer than I expected to going in, so expect a late upload of this onto frickin' Patreon, but in any case, that's going to be it for now, guys. So, thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and a comment. Subscribe to be updated on more, because we still have the Made in Abyss movie. Came out, what was it, a couple years back? 2019, maybe? I don't know the exact date. I'm just going off memory, but as far as the finale episode goes, this one was heavy. This was probably the best episode of the season, honestly. Like, they just nailed that. Just through and through. The build-up that I had loved so much throughout this entire time got paid off in full. With this episode, man, in particular, it was just, yeah, learning about Nanachi and Michi's backstory was just soul-crushing. This has a tendency, man, to just do that, where it rips out your soul, grinds it in the dust, and then blows it into the wind. Because it's just pain. So much pain. And I'm glad they played it as straight as they did, you know? Like, you wouldn't necessarily expect it, but yeah, Reg had to just straight up mercy kill Mitty like that. But in the end, it works well into their beliefs of, you know, that when you die, you just return to the abyss and you can be together forever and all that. It's comforting, to be for sure. And she was a prisoner of her own body. I've made that clear, and yeah, it sucks. You can still feel pain, but you can never die. And you're just stuck being unable to express yourself. It's symbolic of many issues that even real people have had to go through, you know, like being in a coma and stuff like that. A lot of the time, you're just stuck in your own head. You're conscious, you can still hear everything, but you can't do squat. It's kind of like that, but yeah. And that one guy whose name I can't remember because it's complicated to pronounce, and I have never said it out loud, therefore I have trouble with it. That guy, I know what his intentions were, and in the end, he may have been right, at least in theory, that he found a way to circumvent the abyss and its curse, because Nanachi apparently can see the blanket of the curse and can help them avoid that, and can keep them safe from monsters and allow them to go back up safely. So, sure, he got results, but does the end justify the means? I don't think so, because that was torturous. He took a bunch of kids and stripped them of their humanity, one of them being made immortal, couldn't die, and the other one being stuck with her, having to watch her like that the whole time, being unable to save her. It might help out Rico and Reg, but man, it's still bad. Still bad what he did. Screw him. And of course, we had the scene in the hot spring, you know, where it had been a while since we had gotten a scene like that, because the tone had shifted to being so heavy and serious, and Rico was, you know, bedridden all that time, so it couldn't happen, but when it happened, it made up for it not happening, and just going all the way for it. So friggin' awkward. And yet, still touching and wholesome in its own way, you know? Just because, you know, seeing them back together, her up on her feet, being herself again, I can't be mad about it. I don't even want to be. But now the gang is all together. They've sent that package up to the surface, probably just letting everyone know, hey, I didn't die. Everything's all well and good. And it seems to have reached them in a pretty timely manner, you know? I think the whole time dilation thing doesn't seem to have kicked into super high gear yet, but it's still confusing. There's been some contention about how the time dilation has been working so far, but this episode was friggin' fantastic, and they made me care so much, so fast. I was weeping like a man, just deeply and truly. It was just, oh man. I cared so much about Mitty and Nanachi's story so friggin' quickly. It's crazy. They established that so well. And it's just one of the most terrible things I've ever seen. Not in like it was bad sort of way, you know what I mean, right? Where just sacrificing those kids for that. Hope we didn't just leave all those ones down there at the bottom, and I hope we at least put them out of their misery, right? It's still bad to think about. Oh well, I've rambled on long enough. This video is already going to be probably more than an hour. Well, maybe not. There's going to be a lot that gets cut out, but it's still going to be long, so I'll save you guys from having to listen to more rambling here. So, hope to catch you guys at the Made in Abyss movie. It's surely going to be amazing, so till then, I will see you guys later.